We are taking ownership of our narrative, leading the conversation, enlightening our listeners. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
And we are back. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Africa Biz Radio, Facebook Africa Business Radio, hashtag HRWide, or drop us an email, info@africabusinessradio.com. Also, you can go to the App Store and the Google Play Store and the iStore, and you can download our app and you can take us wherever you go, listen on the go, and interact with us. So our final segment today, HR technology. Human capital reimagined. This sounds very, very interesting. It sounds somewhat beyond me, but we're going to talk holistically about AI's impact on work, the workforce, the impact on business, on employment, and going forward, what does the future of work look like? On the line, we've got Jackson Szabo. He's portfolio manager of Connect 365. Did I get that right, Jackson?
Yes, that's right, Connect 365.
All right, so to kick off, give us a little bit of background on Connect 365. What you guys do, your reason for existence, your what you guys do.
Yeah, of course, Gavin. So Connect 365 is part of the Informa Group, who are one of the largest events organisers in the world. So we organise exhibitions and conferences and summits for businesses looking to target and looking to meet other businesses. So one of our largest events is AfricaCom, which is based in Cape Town each year, coming up in November, which attracts around 15,000 enterprises looking to transform their businesses, essentially, and looking at technology as a way to do that.
So when we talk in AI now, what does the future look like? What the first question I've got here from my producer, what is the future of work? And it seems like a massively broad question, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good question. And I think ultimately, with it being in the future, we don't really have the answer to that. I think when you speak to experts around the world about how AI will impact their business or what will the future of their business look like, I think they're all looking for those answers. And I think AI ultimately will be a real benefit for people going forward. I think a lot of the concerns around AI are to do with ethics, to do with biases, are to do with things like replacing people and their workplace. I mean, I recently got a call from an insurer who informed me that I might have been in an accident. And when I obviously informed them that I hadn't been in an accident, it was only after that I realised I wasn't talking to a person. I was talking to a sort of an automated message. But they managed to pick up on the fact that I said no, apologised for the call, and then hung up.
Good Lord.
So, it's and my first reaction was, that would have been somebody's job previously. So I think that, that is obviously a valid concern. But I think the upside...
My first thought would have been, my AI. God, have I been in an accident?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Fortunately, being in London and there's no need to drive, I was pretty sure of that. But I mean, it's
what a ridiculous scenario.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a challenge for workforces to balance. Okay, if we have the opportunity where a technology can come in and, from a top line point of view, drastically change what our expenses look like, that can be really compelling. But then having to balance that on the other side of, well, if we're going to replace workers, how do we go about doing that is a big challenge. Now, when you speak to experts about how that'll impact the workforce, I think, that's an obvious concern, and there are, a few use cases where that may happen. But on the opposite side, I mean, AI is also going to massively impact how people go about doing their jobs and supporting their jobs, and upskilling workers. I mean, for example, at AfricaCom, we have a speaker who will be talking about how AI is essentially upskilled their lesser experienced workers in legal services. So taking, thousands and thousands of cases and all that experience, and then being able to come up with a really viable solution that, previously an inexperienced worker might not have had is massively advantageous for that firm. And I think the impacts on education and being able to progress education for people and giving them better opportunities, I think there's that also needs to be considered when you talk about its impact on workforces.
Yeah, from a very broad perspective from my side, I think there are two schools of thought. The first is that irrespective of how technology changes, jobs change along with it. People were scared when computers came out. What happened was it created vast new industries. When the horse and carriage went the way of the dinosaur and cars came about, farriers were put out of work, but tire manufacturers came in, And they say no matter what the technology is, there will always be support services and different industries created. That's the one school of thought. And then the second school of thought is that eventually AI and robotics and smart machines will take over everything, and we will basically become redundant and become wards of the state, paid a certain pension to buy the products that the machines have produced to further propagates the economy as we see it today.
I mean, yeah, that is really looking forward, I guess. I think ultimately, when we look at sort of B2B and less B2C, when you look at B2B, I mean, we're obviously in a business Connect 365 of business to business, sales and marketing. And what we found is that with technology, the events industry was one of those industries that, oh God, if people find it easier to communicate and get in touch with each other, does that mean that we're going to be less useful as a service? But what we've actually found is that it means that the face-to-face contact and being able to buy from other people is there's more of an importance drawn on it now, and I think that's something to consider as well, that people still want to buy from people. Whether that will change in the future, and that actually robots will be making those decisions for us and making our purchasing decisions for us, I don't know, but I think humans obviously want to be in contact with other people, and I don't think that's something that will change anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. I think that's for the smaller shopping items. I mean, you want to do your grocery shopping online, you want to buy toys online. Those things, have entrenched themselves in our society today. But for your bigger, more tactile, more personal items, I think that one-to-one service, that one-to-one interaction is not going to go away. Specifically, when we're looking at business, when we're looking at big machines, we're looking at human expertise. How does this thing work? How does it feel? How does it, all these things. It'll be a while before we trust our robot brothers.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
So the HR professional today, looking at their business structure going forward, what is the landscape going to look like for them? Do they upskill? Do they go full AI? I'm trying to imagine this HR practitioner of tomorrow trying to upskill, trying to retool his environment to take on the 21st century. There's a few things that AI will do. I think it will improve things like making correct decisions on people that they look to hire or keep. So, when you're hiring somebody and you've only got, maybe it's 3 or 4 interviews to get to know that person and understand whether they're going to be a fit for your business. You've only got a limited amount of information to glean and use to decide whether they're the correct candidate. I think using AI, now you can basically aggregate a lot of those processes and a lot of those interviews from a lot of people to make a better informed decision. I think it will help to streamline that. It will help to improve training within businesses. I think it's not going to it's not going to be a revolution for the HR professional. It's going to be an evolution. I think it will just help them to streamline what they're already doing. It will enhance what they're already doing. It will allow them to become a lot more productive in what they're doing. And I think on the other side, there's also things like looking at using AI. You reduce that opportunity of bias in the workplace. I think that's a big thing at the moment. Yeah.
There's a lot of movements around the glass ceiling for certain pockets of society, and if you have a lot of information and you're using things like AI to be able to make those decisions, you have the ability then to reduce that potential bias. So there's a lot of impact it's going to have on HR, but I don't think it's negative in any way. I think it's something to look forward to be honest.
Yeah, I must agree with you. One of the big things we had a chat with somebody who noted that it'll eliminate all those repetitive tasks, those menial tasks that take up so much time in an HR professional's daily life, and pretty much any administrative person, leaving them to better concentrate and look at the data and, as you said, make more informed and better decisions.
That's exactly it. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what I think from my experience of looking at the market in AI and looking at all of the different applications. I think the big thing to take us, it's just enhancing what we're already doing, what humans are already doing. It's enhancing that productivity, which I think is fantastic in terms of when you're looking to employ, when you're looking to upskill your workforce, when you're looking to streamline the business or change the structures. All of these things are going to be enhanced with technologies like artificial intelligence.
Fantastic. All right, we have run out of time. I need to wrap up. Where can guys get hold of you?
They can get hold of us, as I mentioned, we have AfricaCom in November, which is the 13th and 15th of November in Cape Town at the convention centre. So if anybody is available to come down, please come down. There's so much to see and do. Or you can contact us at www.knect365.com, and you can check out more things that we're doing there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we can have you back on the show in November when you're done in Cape Town.
Fantastic. Thanks, Gavin.
Great stuff. All right, that was Jackson Szabo, Portfolio Manager of KNEC 365, chatting about the future of work and AI. I think it is going to definitely revolutionize the workplace. It is going to take away all those menial tasks, those repetitive tasks that take up so much time. I mean, who likes admin? I would rather stick my finger up my nose or in various other places and do admin. And if AI can do away with that, now I have a little bit of in the 60s and 50s and even in the up to the 70s, the great computer revolution was coming, and it would shorten our work week to 3 to 4 days. It would mean that we would only work 3 to 4 hours a day. We would have 3 months holidays because computers would just be the solution and take things over. What happened? We're working harder. We're producing infinitely more. You know what? You've got 8 hours a day. No matter who you work for, they're going to squeeze that 8 hours a day. And AI and automation is just going to make it, us even more efficient and more productive. It doesn't mean that we're going to have more time off.
True. And the mindset of employers is that I want to see you here from 8 to 5.
I want you to bleed, baby.
They're not going to pay for anything less, whether there's AI or not. They just want you to work.
I want to talk to somebody. I'm trying to sort out an interview. I want to chat to somebody about an outcomes-based job.
Thank you.
I am hiring you to make a water bottle. I need one a day from you, and I'm paying you 10 Rand.
Yeah.
So it should take 8 hours, but now if I become efficient and effective, and I make 5 water bottles a day, do I still earn 10 Rand, or do I earn 50 Rand? Or can I go home and still keep my 10 Rand? Or are you buying my time? And thereby you can utilize it for anything that you want. What is it that employers buy? Your output or your time?
That really would be an interesting conversation.
I personally, from every single job that I've ever had, they buy your time. It's even if you are producing a certain product and you have to produce that certain product, you could be sitting there with nothing to do. You've done your quota. You've produced your product for the month. Doesn't matter. Come sit there. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've become a master at looking busy.
Yeah.
Because you have to justify, no matter what job I've been in, it takes a couple of months, and then you start understanding what to do.
True.
So your efficiency goes up. You start getting the task done in way less time.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, I hope they don't notice that I'm done. So I have to sit with a pencil and put those glasses on with a fake eye so that they can't see I'm sleeping. But that's it. I think a shift into buying output as opposed to buying time.
Look, there's companies that have, I know of banks who've done that, where if you're not needed in the office, a person rocks up in the office once or twice a week and they work from home. But while they're at home, they have their laptop, they have internet, and they have to log on.
They're available.
And they're available.
Yeah.
They've given them a phone, and they'll tell you, we've got a group call at this hour.
Yeah.
This has been uploaded. You know, so there's that constant communication with them, and they know, okay, now between this and this time is my productivity time. As long as you produce what you're saying, productivity, you're able to produce what has been. So let's look for somebody.
Yeah, no, I can see a lot of jobs where, yes, like a call center agent or a retail worker, you have to be there at certain operating times. And there you are being paid for your time. Yeah. Because there is no specific output, really. I imagine a call center, whether you do 10 calls or 1,000 calls a day, it's you are being paid for your hourly.
Yes.
But for a product-based output, I mean, if I produce it in an hour, good for me. Yeah. If Bob Johnson, who sits next to me, it takes 10 hours, it's not my problem.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we're going to wrap up.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Interesting show. Some lovely guests. It is not often... radio is a very... I don't know, this passionate thing, you can't really tell what people are feeling by seeing their face or their body language. But I must say today, our friend Frank was...
Wow.
Frank Makwekwe from Thrive Finwell. I very rarely see a guy that's hyped up about and so happy to be where he is and doing what he does. And you know, he's inspirational, I think.
I wonder how the energy would have been if he was here in the studio with us.
I think we would have been dancing. So thanks, Frank. Thanks, Jackson. Thanks, Yuppie, for the great interviews today. And we will catch you same time, same place next week. Please don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Africa Biz Radio, Facebook Africa Business Radio, #HRWide, or drop us an email, info@africabusinessradio.com. And don't forget to download our app from the iStore and the Google Play Store. You can take us wherever you are and interact with us.
Africa Business Radio is now available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Take us everywhere. Download the app for easy access to our informative content. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.